And I'm not going to agree, sitting in the Rules Committee or on this floor, to continue the process of spending money we don't have, of not changing the status quo and not demanding that the President of the United States act like it, act like he's the president.
In the Grand Chamber, where history whispers from every corner, a solitary member of Congress takes the floor, not just to speak, but to echo the voices of millions. This isn't about partisan lines or political maneuvering. It's a deep-seated plea for the essence of American governance to rise to the occasion. The words spoken today are draped in the urgency of now, challenging the administration's actions, or lack thereof, on issues that touch the very core of the nation's well-being. From border security to fiscal responsibility, from the safety of the citizens to the integrity of the nation's values, the call is clear and unequivocal. This is a moment where the duty to protect and serve is invoked not just as a constitutional mandate, but as a moral imperative. As the member's voice fills the chamber, it carries with it the weight of expectation, the hope for action, and the demand for change that transcends the halls of Congress and resonates across the country.
When we fund the government this year, things better change, Mr. President. You come down here and you make threats to us about what you think is going to happen with respect to default. You come down here and lecture us in the people's house. Well, let me tell you, Mr. President, we're a co-equal branch of government. And we're not going to allow the American people to continue to be targeted by the very government that is supposed to protect them, that is supposed to do their constitutional duty, that is supposed to secure the border of the United States, that is supposed to stop fentanyl from coming in, that is supposed to have operational control of the border so that neither Americans nor migrants are dying, that is supposed to stop dangerous cartels, that is supposed to stand up to China, that is supposed to have a strong military, sparingly used but not woke. We're not supposed to spend money we don't have. We're supposed to balance our budget. We're supposed to defend the American people. And I'm not going to agree, sitting in the Rules Committee or on this floor, to continue the process of spending money we don't have, of not changing the status quo and not demanding that the President of the United States act like it, act like he's the president, defend this country, secure our border. He doesn't get to come down here and lecture us. The People's House decides how dollars get spent. The People's House represents the people. We need a reckoning. We need to actually stand up and fight, stand up and be counted. I'm not going to go around the circles that we constantly go around in this place, having another meeting about another meeting about another meeting. How about we just stand up for something? How about people be on the floor of this body debating? Get another hour of special orders, another half hour of special orders. I'm sick and tired of watching Texans that I represent die from fentanyl. I'm sick and tired of watching my fellow Texans in the state legislature debating right now spending more Texas taxpayer money to do the job the federal government is supposed to do and secure the border. I'm sick and tired of walking around on eggshells around a body comprised of members of both sides of the aisle that refuse to do their job to stop spending money we don't have and say, oh, well, what political poll-tested 80% issue can we put out there and go to the American people with so that we can sound reasonable in our demand?
The intensity of the moment grows as the members' words pierce the usual hum of congressional discourse, bringing into sharp focus the realities faced by those outside these walls. This passionate oration is a mirror held up to the administration, reflecting the urgent issues that demand attention, not tomorrow, but today. The stakes are laid bare for all to see, a nation grappling with challenges that test its resolve, its principles, and its commitment to the welfare of its people. The call to action is unambiguous, urging a return to foundational values, a recommitment to the duties of governance, and a reinvigoration of the bonds that unite the nation.
How about you just demand what's right? Why don't we just stand up and say, you know what, we're going to balance our budget. Giddy up. That's what every American does. It's what every business has to do. But no, we'll keep going around in circles. Each side going to their pet projects. Meanwhile, the federal bureaucracy is going to continue to be at war with the American people, like my friend Scott Smith, who was here last night. Not one single mention by the president. Hadn't apologized a lick for putting him through that. Domestic terrorist. Hadn't apologized a lick for the fact that his Secretary of Homeland Security, who was here last night, stood up at a lectern and said that his own Border Patrol employees that worked for him whipped Haitian migrants when he knew full well, both from the video evidence that we all saw with our eyes and a memo from his own people in Department of Homeland Security, that was not true. He knew it. And then he blamed it on systemic racism. Has he apologized? No. And the reason he hasn't apologized is because he's at war with the people of the United States and the fact that his job is supposed to be to secure the border, and the president knows it. The president goes down and does a photo op with a preset visit in El Paso, where they literally go out and clean out the streets of the migrants who are piling up in El Paso, and sets up a photo op. And then last night dares to come down here, lecture us, lie to the American people that we're trying to go after their Social Security and Medicare, and offer nothing about his constitutional duty as President of the United States to secure the border. Mr. Speaker, I will yield back here in a minute. I assume my time is running short. I will just close by saying this. The American people expect more out of the People's House. They expect more out of the President of the United States than what we saw last night. It was not a State of the Union, it was a state of confusion. We have an obligation to do our job and stop spending money we don't have, secure the border of the United States, and actually represent the people.
As the chamber absorbs the weight of the address, the message lingers long after the member has yielded the floor. This was no ordinary speech. It was a testament to the vibrancy of democracy, a reminder of the responsibility that comes with public service, and a clarion call for leadership that honors the trust bestowed upon it by the people. The issues highlighted today, from national security to economic stability, are not mere agenda items. They are the fabric of the nation's identity, the pillars upon which its future rests. As the nation watches, the onus is now on those in power to heed the call, to bridge divides, and to take decisive action that safeguards the nation's interests and upholds its values. This moment in Congress will be remembered not just for the fervor with which it was delivered, but for the response it elicits and the actions it inspires. For in the end, it's through these passionate debates and the resolve to address pressing challenges that the nation will forge a path forward, united in purpose and steadfast in its commitment to the ideals of liberty, justice, and prosperity for all.